Assalamualaikum. A very good morning to my dear students and welcome back to your physics class, and this is your physics teacher again from United Public School. So students, we are starting our today's session with your chapter 3, that is acids, bases and salts. You might already have learned in class 7th about those three things, the acid, bases and salt, and maybe your biology teacher might also have told you about those things, acid, bases and salt, but still I want to recall you about those three things, that is acid, bases and salts. Acid, it is a word derived from the Latin word which means ades. Okay, and what is meant by ades? It means sour in taste. Sour in taste बोल तो खट्टा टेस्ट आता, ठीक है. So acid, it gives sour taste, खट्टा taste. And examples of acids: lemon, vinegar, oranges, etc. And what is base? The substances which has bitter in taste. Bitter in taste means kadwa taste. So this base gives bitter taste, kadwa taste, and it is also have another properties, that is when you touch that substances of base, it will be slip. It is slippery to touch. Slippery in the sense हाथ से पिसल जाना. कब जब भी आप लोग टच करते तो हाथ से पिसल जाता. तो example, soap. Soap will be slippery and it is also bitter in taste if you have tasted it. An example of base: neem, dark chocolate. It also bitter in taste. Bitter gourd in the sense karela, and soap, etc. And what are the salts? Salts are the substances which is formed as a result of neutralization reaction between an acid and the base. So when the reaction taking place between the acid and bases, a substances is formed. The substances is nothing but salts. Here what is meant by neutralization reaction? Neutralization reaction means when the reaction takes place between acid and base. This is the acid, this is the base. When the reaction takes place between the acid and base, that reaction is called neutralization reaction, and it is the neutralization reaction equation. But as I am saying that the salts will form by the neutralization reaction, which compounds actually which compounds will involve in this reaction? Here the hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide will react. When both this reacts, it will give sodium chloride. This chloride of hydrochloric acid reacts with sodium of sodium chloride, and it will gives sodium chloride. The sodium chloride is nothing but salts. ठीक है, this chlorine will react with this sodium and it will give sodium chloride. Sodium chloride बोले तो salts. The common salts which we used in kitchens for cooking purpose, right? So clear about those three things, students? So, and you might also have know about that when you dip a litmus paper, as you know what is litmus paper, which we find in laboratories. This is litmus paper, the blue litmus paper and red litmus paper, LITMUS litmus paper. So this will find in laboratories, and this litmus paper, what they do, they helps in detecting, finding out which solution is acid, which solution is base, and which solution is salts. To detect those three things, this litmus paper helped. How they help? By dipping those litmus paper in the solution. If you are dipping the blue litmus paper in acid, then this blue litmus paper turn into red in color. If you dip red litmus paper in base, then it will turn into blue color. The red litmus paper will turn into blue color. If you dip both red and blue litmus paper in salt solution, then there is no reaction. They won't turn into another color. So that is nothing but salt solution. Okay, you can see here we have three solutions, and in this, which is salt, which is acid, we don't know. So let me start with the blue litmus paper. When you dip blue litmus paper, it remains blue in color, and when you dip in this blue litmus paper, it will also remains blue in color. When you dip litmus paper in a third solution, then it turns into red in color. See, the litmus paper is turning into red in color. And when you dip a red litmus paper in first solution, it will turn to blue in color. As you can see, it turns into blue in color. And when you dip in second solution, it remains red. In both cases, it remains red. And in the third solution, the red litmus paper remains also red over here also. So when you add phenolphthalein indicator to the first solution, it turning to pink in color. As you can see, it turns into pink in color. And when you add that phenolphthalein indicator to second, it remains as it is. It remains colorless. And when you add that phenolphthalein indicator to the third solution, it also remains colorless. So what you have concluded by this? So in first case, red litmus paper turns into blue. Red to blue means base. In second, no reaction takes place, that means salt solution. In third, blue litmus paper turns into red, so it is base. And when phenolphthalein we added, here the base is turning into pink in color, which means it is a base. So by the help of the phenolphthalein, which is a synthetic indicator, and by the help of litmus paper, which is natural indicator, by those things we can detect the acid, bases and salts. I am repeating. In acid, blue litmus paper will turn into red in color, and in base, red litmus turn into blue in color. And as you know, lemon is acid. When you place a litmus paper on the cutted lemon, then it will also turn into red in color, which means it contains acid inside it. So not only this litmus paper helps in detecting those three things, but also we have some other natural things, that is the extraction of red cabbage. See here, this red cabbage extraction, this extraction of red cabbage also helps in detecting, in finding out those solutions. And the turmeric solution, when you add the water, turmeric in the water, it will turn into turmeric solution. This also helps in detecting acid, bases and salts. And the extraction of color petal of some flowers which contain dye molecules, the two molecules which contain the colored petal flower, that extractions, if you extract this in water, then that extraction will also helps in detecting the acid, bases and salts. Why these things helps in detecting those three things? Because the litmus paper, the red cabbage, the turmeric solution and the red flowers, all these are weak in acid and bases, which means they show weak प्रॉपर्टीज, वीक नेचर ऑफ, वीक इन द सेंस बहुत कमज़ोर नेचर के एसिड और बेसिस के प्रॉपर्टीज उन लोग के अंदर रहते. सो दैट इट हेल्प्स इन डिटेक्टिंग द नेचर ऑफ द सोल्यूशन ऑफ एसिडिटी एंड द बेसिसिटी. सो it is called as, these are called as acid base indicators. To detect those things, it helps in the right indicators, इसीलिए indicators बोलते हैं. acid base indicators मतलब acid और base को पता लगाने के substances. And you know, these all are the natural materials. These are the natural materials, which means this is natural indicators. And what are the synthetic indicators? Natural indicators means मैन मेड नहीं है, वो नेचुरल है. सिंथेटिक इन द सेंस द मैन मेड. सो सिंथेटिक इन आर्टिफिशियल, सिंथेटिक मीन्स आर्टिफिशियल. द मैन मेड indicators, what are the man made indicators? The phenyl orange, sorry, methyl orange, the phenolphthalein or the natural indicators. Okay, methyl orange, phenolphthalein or the natural indicators, and those are the, I mean, methyl orange and phenolphthalein are the synthetic indicators, and those are the natural indicators. So these indicators helps, all these indicators helps in detecting acid, bases and salts. So students, this is the quite introduction about your lesson, and in this chapter you may study the reactions of acids and bases, how the acids react with base. You may study that, as I said, the reaction between acid bases are called as neutralization reaction, right? So you will learn about the neutralization reaction in this chapter, and many more interesting activities you will see in your day-to-day life, that also you will learn in this chapter, right? So it is quite introduction about your new chapter, and in our next chapter we will discuss about further classes, further topics of your textbook. Okay, and students, your today's homework is write acid, bases and salts definition, only definition and example. Don't write this and useless things. Just write definition of acid, definition of base, definition of salts, and examples of acid, examples of base, example of salts. Clear? And this equation also, up to here you have to write. Okay, if possible, take a clear screenshot of this and write in your notes and submit in your groups. Okay, thank you students, have a nice day.